William Morrow and HarperAudio present The Cowboy Says Yes, Rustlers Creek by Addison Fox. Performed by Paige. For Amelia, Audrey, and Grant, my favorites. Chapter 1. Rustlers Creek, Montana wasn't exactly the epicenter of cool, contemporary, or classy. Or it hadn't been, until the creative brains at the Cooking Network had descended on Hadley Wayne's small hometown with all the zeal of locusts in August. Forrest and Evans Publishing had followed suit with a deep and urgent desire to publish her Christmas cookbook, which they eagerly followed up on with an Easter decorating guide and a summer party planner. And then there'd been the inevitable cookware line that QVC hawked as today's special value at least 3 times over the past year. It had all come together with the speed of summer lightning descending over the ranch, and there were moments Hadley's head still spun with it all. And then she'd push it aside as another camera crew set up shop in her 800-square-foot kitchen, while a lighting designer added strategically placed Klieg's to halo her in concert with the spring sunlight that streamed in her large bay window. 2 months could pass like that, with barely a thought beyond show schedules, meal planning, and cookbook edits. She'd then look up, trying to surface for air, desperate to remember what and who she'd put on hold. She'd had no idea her dreams could be this big, or grow this huge, and yet... "Hadley, you ready?" Her producer, Beatrix Malone, stood before her, clad in perpetual black and the 4-inch heels she raced around the ranch in as if they were the most comfortable pair of cross-trainers she'd ever owned. Bea's assistant, Ame, swooped in behind. "The guys need to get this segment wrapped in an hour so we can get set up outside when the Cowboys come in for lunch." Hadley pulled herself back from the sour direction of her thoughts, Zack usually at the top of that list, and focused on the day's work. "I don't like how the apple turnovers looked yesterday. We need to reshoot the last shot when they come out of the oven." Ame started to argue before Bea held up a hand. "We'll get it after lunch. I'll make a note of it with the director. How much time do you need on the turnovers?" "I've already prepped them. I'll put them in when we get back inside after lunch. We can get them dressed and ready in under an hour." "Done." Bea was already off, presumably to talk to the director, as well as whoever was on the endless lists she carried on the tablet that rarely left her hand, leaving Hadley to the pre-prep before shooting began. Her own assistants had already prepped the pork shoulder and chopped the onions she'd need for the next segment, and it was only a matter of finishing up in makeup and changing her clothes. The camera didn't favor navy blue t-shirts and yoga pants. Although she'd set specific ground rules early on, namely that the cameras never came upstairs to her bedroom, that edict didn't extend to makeup, hair, or wardrobe. After the show had taken off, she'd gotten Zack's reluctant agreement to alter one of the ranch's 6 bedrooms into a haven for the hair and makeup crew. The ensuite bathroom had been transformed, with lighting more blinding than a winter squall, all while racks of clothing stood sentinel in the bedroom. It had been a fair trade, and kept her eagle-eyed makeup team from seeing the inside of her own bedroom, one that now stood down the hall from the master she'd shared with Zack. The oversized room she'd once loved waking up in, done up in subtle tones of cream and peacock blue, had become a mocking reminder of all they no longer shared. Not that anyone else needed to know that. Aside from the gossip she had no interest in being the subject of, there was no way the Cowgirl Gourmet could let the world know she and her husband no longer shared the same bedroom, the same meals, and as soon as the camera stopped rolling, the same air. Even if today's segment had them sharing far more air than either of them was comfortable with any longer. "Time to make that porcelain skin even more flawless." Chantal, her makeup guru, took her arm and gently pulled her toward a large chair set up in front of all those lights. Did she go anywhere any longer without lights? They were everywhere in her home. They accompanied her on the photo shoots she was now regularly a part of, and they were even now covering her bathroom mirrors.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?